He fell asleep in New Jersey before the bombs hit the ground. Broadcasting from a bomb shelter, he is the nuclear clown.
Let me tell you a secret. Fat people hate summer. It's hot out, it's gross. Being as fat as I am, it's already like I'm wearing 8 jackets year-round. So in the dead of winter, I will walk around, well, like this, because technically I'm already wearing jackets. But in the summer, it's rough. You know, it's hard for us. So I really don't, I'm not very active at all during the summer. At least I try. I do my best not to be. But I have seen some movies. I've seen a few movies. And the more that my workload kind of stacks up on things I have to talk about, the less and less I want to do it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try something different, because I have 4 movies that I've seen. Four times I've ventured out of my little bomb shelter here and gone out into the wasteland and actually watched some movies to review for yous. And what I'm going to do is, instead of doing 4 different reviews, because I'm way too lazy to do that, I may have to shower for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cram 4 movies into this. It's going to be my summer box office mashup, reboot, remix, jam, dropping this summer, whatever you kids call it these days. So I'm gonna do that. So I got 4 movies. So I got a little list of notes here. I want to hit each one, make sure I do all my stuff. So first up is Avengers: The Age of Ultron. Now let me tell you, I love Ultron. I think Ultron is just adorable. I mean the way he's drawn, he's like the cutest robot. He looks like, I know he's not intended to be adorable, but Ultron's adorable. Like, he looks like a little anime robot or something. Like, you want to tickle him when you see him. I don't know. I always thought in the comic books Ultron was particularly cool looking. So I was pretty excited about this. Now, I don't know about the Age of Ultron book. I know it's a new Marvel thing or whatever. I'm not up to date on any new comics. But when I heard they were doing Age of Ultron and I heard they were doing an Ant-Man movie, I figured, well, that makes sense, because just like everyone else on the Avengers had their own movie before they were in an actual Avengers movie, Ant-Man's probably going to do the same thing. And since Ultron is going to be the bad guy in Age of Ultron, I figured, well, okay, they do the Ant-Man movie first, and then, you know, whatever, after it sucks, they have the credits, and then the little scene at the end, maybe he's in his lab and he, you know, constructs the Ultron head, and then you see like the eyes light up, and then that's the end, right? Setting up Age of Ultron, where Ant-Man joins the Avengers for some reason, because I guess, you know, they need to hire another loser, because they're not getting, like Hawkeye, it's like affirmative action, you know, they're like, okay, well, we're all gods and, you know, the best superheroes in the world, so we got to hire like normal people or else we'll get sued. So they hire, you know, a girl with guns and, you know, stupid Hawkeye. And you know, they need to hire one more because they're too uber or something like that. And then, so they hire Ant-Man. But no, that's not what happened. Is it? No, it's not. So apparently in this, Tony Stark creates Ultron, which okay. All right. So my spoiler-free review, whatever. What you should walk away from is 3 things. Hawkeye sucks, Ant-Man sucks, and Ultron is the shit, right? So, okay. My spoiler-free review of Avengers: Age of Ultron is it was perfectly acceptable. It was perfectly fine. It's not going to knock anybody's socks off or anything, and it's not going to terribly offend you. You know, I thought the first Avengers movie was all right. I don't think it was a crazy good, really, but it was perfectly fine. It was all right. And this one follows suit. It was enjoyable. I don't have really too many crazy complaints. The superhero genre as a whole, I'm just tired of it. So really, you know, same old here. Another capable Marvel movie. There you go. Big, loud, CGI infested fight scenes, and there you have it. That's about it. But some things I walked away from with the Avengers film. My favorite part, by far, in the Avengers Age of Ultron, which kind of, I guess, it shows that I'm an old, boring man. There was a part where the Avengers, they were just hanging out, and they were just, like, drinking one night. And that was my favorite part by an enormous amount. Like, there's that part right here, and then everything else that's like a muddled mix of explosions and, you know, robots and stuff like that. And there you have it. I just liked them hanging out and talking and stuff like that, and they were all trying to lift up, you know, Thor's hammer, and it was a neat little scene. But one part bothered me in this. Well, it didn't. It bothered me a lot actually. Thor, sit down. We're gonna have a talk. Thor is at this party, and he's walking around with a cute little, like a highball glass filled with, you know, with ale. And he's got this adorable little glass, and he's, you know, nursing his little beer. And he's, you know, bragging about his girlfriend and stuff like that. Okay. Okay, no. Right? Thor, I will not settle for anything less as far as Thor and alcoholism, or any Norseman for that matter. If you're above 6'2", and you're blonde and have long hair, you cannot drink like a pussy baby like that. He had this little tiny, like, oh yeah, I'm at a cocktail party, you know, with Doc Ock. I mean, it was ridiculous. Like, Thor should have one of those construction helmets with the 2 beers on the side and a fucking keg on his back, y'all. It's Thor. Come on. Alcoholism is what I'm trying to stress to the audience at home. So really, I mean, I guess Age of Ultron, I have to do a mashup review of it because none of it really stood out to me for good or for better or for worse. It was just kind of fine, you know. It was entertaining, and there you have it. I mean, I guess maybe I'm biased because I'm not really a big Avengers guy. I'm a big Ultron guy though. I love me some Ultron. And I think that the way that he was portrayed in this was okay. But again, I'm really quite tired of like snarky Tony Stark. They should just call him Tony Snark, because it's going to be 2 hours of Iron Man being cute with his little one-liners and he's such a funny guy. And it's very tired. It gets real tiresome to me. If it's one thing I hate, it's like the goofball, you know, why can't I think of it? The smart aleck superhero, you know, like Spider-Man, Deadpool. I hate that. I hate that template, you know, with the always joking with their silly little comments. It just bothers me, and I hate it. I hate all that stuff a lot, an incredible amount. So I get kind of sick of Tony Stark, and he created Ultron in this. So Ultron kind of has that going, like he has that. He'll whip out some Starkisms every now and again, and I wasn't really for that. I kind of was looking forward to Ultron being a straight-up robot murdering machine, you know, like that's... I wanted him to be a satanic soda pop machine, if that makes any sense to you. And, so, you know, he was okay. I thought he was alright, but, you know, that kind of... The less Tony Stark, look at how, you know, how goofy and I'm like the sarcastic Geek Squad guy. Like, go fuck yourself. I can't stand that. I hate... Take your Daria ass right out of here with that. But anyway, yeah, so Avengers was fine. Whatever. Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch was in it. You know, so who cares? I mean, who cares? Okay. Oh, great. Just what the Avengers need. More people. More, because they were real bogged down. You know what I mean? Those poor Avengers, overworked. They have Unstoppable Hulk, a god, the best leader and fighter in the goddamn world, was hopped up on steroids all the time. And, you know, just, yeah, they're a billionaire with just limitless funds. And, yeah, they need some backup, I think. They need help. They need some help, I guess that. And you know what? Okay, let me say something. Hawkeye sucks, and he still sucks in this. And no, it doesn't make it better that he flat out says he sucks in this. He's like, you know, oh, this is ridiculous. I got a bow and arrow. I'm so stupid. Look at how stupid I am, guys. They might as well call me Cupid. I don't know what I'm doing. No, it doesn't make me like... It doesn't harbor any affection with me that he's admitting he's an idiot. Just go away. Just quit. Just become like a, I don't know, like a landscaper. So like, you can do something, Hawkeye. I'm sure you can. Like, be a... teach archery to children. Hawkeye doesn't even have hawk eyes. Like, you're not a superhero, man. You're just not. If he at least had one eye that was an actual hawk's eye, all right. He doesn't even have particularly good vision. He's just like, it bothers me. What can I tell you? And then, just to cap it all off, at the end, the Avengers, they get pretty much neutered. For the sake of Earth, I hope this is the last Avengers movie, because, like, they all quit. And they get, like, the Avengers, the Next Generation in, which is, like, Scarlet Witch, Falcon, and War Machine. So it's like Iron Man, but, like, Iron Man, the PlayStation 2 version, as opposed to, It's like, okay, I sure hope Thanos isn't showing up anytime soon, because we're going to have some problems with this cavalcade of fucking losers. We certainly will. Oh, so I guess I should talk about Vision. Yeah. Does anybody like Vision? I swear to you, there is not one person in this world who has ever said, you know who my favorite superhero is? Fucking Vision, man. He rules. That's never been said. Even the people who created Vision are like, oh, yeah, he sucks. He's pretty stupid. Vision is weird. He's always creeped me out, especially when he was in his, what was it, like the West Coast Avengers outfit? Like when he was in his all kind of off-white outfit, he just looks creepy to me. He looks like he would be the Avenger that they'd have to put on leave, because maybe they found some disconcerting videos, on his computer. Shit like that. Like, Vision he's creepy. And anybody, like a superhero named Vision, I can't take that seriously. Vision. I am the Vision. Like, all right, man. Whatever you say. So Vision sucks. And in this movie, whatever. I remember when they were doing the whole Infinity Gauntlet thing. And Thanos had collected all the Infinity Gems, and he put them in his cool glove. Because from the galaxy comes a small blue man with the Infinity Gauntlet in his red right hand, type thing. And I remember when that came out, I got it, and I was like, well, I'm set. Just put this in my closet and wait for my new Corvette to spawn out of it, because I'm going to sell this bad boy, and I'm going to be living in the lap of luxury. I'm going to be living in the lap dance of luxury with all my comic books, my Death of Superman collection, and I have the whole thing. I have the whole Reign of the Superman thing when he came back. I'm so bitter about that. When I was a kid, I was like, what? The Death of Superman? Get me 2 of those bad boys. I may want 2 houses when I grow up. Okay, so let me get that, and let me get the return. Oh, what is that? When he comes back, they're selling it in that white bag thing. Well, give me 3 of those, because I'm gonna want to leave something behind for the kids, and they're worth $7 together, all of them. They're actually costing me money to keep them. Damn it. So that's 1 down, right? 1 movie down, and it only took us, 2-3 hours to get done. So 3 more, right? Pack a lunch. It's going to be a long day. Next up is Terminator Genisys. My spoiler-free review of Terminator Genisys is why? Why? That's all. Just why? What's up? Why did we don't need this. We don't need this. We really don't. I think that if any franchise has completely run its course, and has for just a handful of movies now, it's Terminator. It really is. Look, man. Okay. Spoiler-free review. I went into watching this movie fully intending to laugh my lily white ass off through all of it. This was like I went in for comedy. I wanted to laugh. I sat down and I said, let's do it. Make me laugh. Make me smile. And you know what? Terminator wasn't outrageously horrible, and it wasn't good. Terminator was this. What do you want me to do? You know, I guess in that, and it not being horrible, like laugh out loud terrible, I guess I was disappointed because that's kind of what I went in for. I wanted to. Does anybody remember laughter? And it wasn't horrible, and it wasn't good. It was just unnecessary. It was completely and totally unnecessary. So what they're trying to do, it's kind of like a reboot, but not like a reimagining, but not. It's the story of John Connor sending Kyle Reese back in time, a la Terminator 1, but, you know, insert time travel gobbledygook that makes no fucking sense, and that I hate. So things don't turn out the way they did before, and when he gets to where he needed to be, Sarah Connor has already, like, met with Arnold, but Arnold is good, and he's old, and insert, you know, hilarity. Hilarity ensues. I literally have nothing to say about the story of this movie. Because with me, I consider time travel to be just the ultimate bullshit plot device you could come up with. Anything where time travel is central to the plot, I can't take seriously. Because it's ridiculous. Because you can just mouth, you know, time travel mumbo jumbo to explain anything. And there are no rules, and you can, you know, nothing matters because it's all time travel. Just, oh no, there's a time stream thing, and that's why this is happening. Just go with it. They should just say that. It should be like, oh no, I'm back in time, and you already have a pet Terminator. Why? And Sarah Connor should have just went, just go with it. And I would have been fine with it, because that is exactly what happens in here. When they do any time travel, you know, just stupid flim-flam nonsense, right? And that's what this is. It's a whole bunch of time travel mumbo-jumbo about, oh, the alternate time streams and this, and when I went back in time, I saw a vision of myself, and he told me this, and that changed everything, and now here we go, movie. Sucks. But I'm going to say some nice things. I promise. When Kyle Reese gets sent back to the future, they do such a good job of reshooting scenes from the first Terminator movie. Not a lot, but, you know, the first intro scene, you know, where Kyle Reese shows up and he steals the shoes and the cop and stuff. Like, it's creepily well done. Where it's this, you know, it's a different guy, obviously, and we'll get to him in a second. But the scenes I'm talking about, it's so faithfully redone. The whole kind of, you know, like reboot / alternate timeline shit to it. I like that. Like, at least they're paying attention. You know, at least there's some kind of kernel of like, okay, man, we're gonna do this right, at least if we can. And I thought that was delightful. I did really, really very much enjoy that. Now, picking the Dragon Lady from Game of Thrones to be Sarah Connor is a really, really interesting choice, and one that I'll have to drink a lot to kind of accept. Yeah, because here's the thing. She's just way too cute to be taken seriously in anything, ever. She could be behind me with a scythe to my throat and her hair on fire, and I would go, oh. Like, she's just too short and cuddly and adorable and, like, gnomish looking. You know, you can't take her seriously. Now, I get it that in Terminator 1, Sarah Connor was not the hard-nosed ruffian she was in Terminator 2. I get that. So maybe they were trying to go for an in-between, kind of. And, like, I think it sort of kind of works, as in the look is a little similar. You know, like as to what they were going for. She looks a little like kind of, sort of, maybe kind of every now and again. It fooled me. But then once you realize, like, oh, it's the adorable dragon lady from Game of Thrones, it's just, I don't know. But then I think, well, okay, who else could they have gotten to do it? And, you know, so I don't know. I just thought that she's just way too cute to be taken kind of seriously. And she's sort of not at the phase where she's that, like, ripped up crazy maniac that Sarah Connor was in the second Terminator, but whatever. Just something I thought should be mentioned. Speaking of casting, I got a huge problem with the guy they picked to be Kyle Reese in this. He was atrocious. I mean the look, I mean the acting, I mean the build, I mean everything, okay? Let me explain something to you. The Resistance is not an army. It's not like the special forces against the machines. The Resistance, it's us. It's my fat ass trying to kill a toaster, is what it is. The Resistance is, hey, can you hold a gun? Here, run. That's what the Resistance is. So when they have this Kyle Reese and like the Resistance, they're all in their armor and like their gear and stuff like that. That's not how it's supposed to be, right? Am I reading too much into this? Because like Kyle Reese, they send him back in time, so he has to get all naked. And he's all ripped up, and he's like healthy, and he's like blushing, and his hygiene is impeccable, and his teeth look great. In Terminator 1, Kyle Reese was like a lanky, scrawny. He was what's the actor's name? Michael Biehn or something like that. He looked like a dog. He looked like the human equivalent of like a street walking alleyway dog. He looked haggard and beat up and drunk, and looked like he was not a healthy, nourished person, right? He didn't have big muscles and abs. Do you know why? Because there's no fucking food, and the Resistance eats rats and hubcaps. Resistance, are you with me? Right? Underground Resistance, right? Not well-fed, beefy, hunky studs with nice tans. That's not what we're going for here. You feel me? Right? So I don't understand why they did that, but whatever. Okay. So they get, The Rock to be Kyle Reese, whatever you say. And I just found him to be a bumbling idiot. He was just like a bumbling country bumpkin is what Kyle Reese reminded me of in this movie, and I just don't get it. I don't understand it at all. So now I would like to say I'm going to close. Why did I say it like that? Close. I'm going to close positive with my discussion on Terminator. A big thing with me is villains. Villains in movies. Villains have a special place here in my cholesterol-filled heart. To be a good villain, you have to be memorable. You have to have a memorable face. You have to be distinguishable, right? You have to be different looking than everybody else. And, the same goes for good guys, I guess. But villains are, like, you really have to stand out if you're going to be the main villain in a movie. And I think that the villain in this Terminator movie, has it. Like, he's got that face where you see him and you're like, I will never mistake this person for anyone ever again in my life. Like, I know who this man is. He has a very memorable face. And he looked to me like Chief O'Brien's son. Chief O'Brien from Star Trek. I really thought it was his son because it looks like him. Like the face, it looks like a young version of him, I guess. But so anyway, the silly, goofy story is like John Connor gets possessed. It's like a new model of Terminator that can possess you or some shit or touch you and turn you into like a cyborg man. So then John Connor sends himself back in time, but he's a possessed Terminator, and he goes and he finds Sarah Connor and he finds Kyle Reese, and then he's like, "Come on, guys, I'm here to rescue you. Remember me? I'm John Connor. Hi, Mom." And then they leave, and bad John Connor has approximately 78 chances to kill both of them, but doesn't. Instead, he tries to gain their trust. And then Old Man Arnold comes in and starts shooting him. And then everybody's like, "Oh no, he's a dirty cyborg. Time travel, gobbledygook." What do you want me to say? So why? Why are we here? Why did I see this? For laughs. Did I get any laughs? Not really. Not really. Again, not terribly awful and not good. Just why? Just why? At this point, and I've said this before, in the whole Terminator deal, just redo it. Like, stop adding on mistakes and just redo it. Like, go ahead. Just redo it. I mean, I didn't see the RoboCop reboot, and I'm sure it was awful. I'm sure it was just god-awful. But I'd rather it be a god-awful reboot than RoboCop 4. Does that make sense? For some reason, I would just like that better. It would hurt me less. And I think with Terminator, we're not getting anything new. We're just not. I'll say something positive about the special effects in this movie. There was a part where, they had a big, like, Wile E. Coyote magnet or something, and then, like, Terminator John Connor was trying to walk, but the magnet was pushing him back. And, like flecks of him, I guess, like little metallic flecks were, like, peeling off of him. And I thought that looked really cool. I thought that, like, visibly, I get my words mixed up. Visually, that looked really, really great. I thought that was cool, and that's it. That's my nice thing about Terminator. Enact emergency compliment. So I saw Minions also, because I have the mind and penis of a child. I've never seen any of the Despicable Me movies. I want to, but I probably won't. And so Minions. Let me tell you. Again, my spoiler-free review of Minions is, why are we here? Answer, this right here. Kiggity cash. Okay? Without any doubt, without any question in my mind, the opening 5 minutes, I'm going to say, of the Minions movie, where it's going through, like, Minions through time, just leave after that. You're going to sit and you're going to watch the first 5 minutes, and you're going to be like, this is adorable. And you'd be right. Then get up and walk out. And then you can thank me with the hour and 20 minutes of your time I saved you. Now, Minions wasn't terrible, but it was just, there's no reason besides money, the ultimate reason, I guess, to make this film. It's a prequel, right, on how the Minions ended up with that bald guy, who's the main guy in the other movies, because he's bald, so obviously he must be the devil incarnate, because racism. So this is like the story of how the Minions met up with him. So by the end of the movie they're going to meet up with him and start serving him and making him lamb chops and shit like that. Okay. But the way they did it was completely lazy and really honestly surprising for a Disney Pixar, that right? This is Pixar, something, whatever. For a movie like this, because normally they're on the ball and they have their shit together with, like, plot stuff. I'm not looking for, Citizen Kane here, but they could have done way better. This was really, really lazy. So anyway, the Minions, who, by the way, there's only so much you can do when your main characters don't fucking speak. Or they speak, but they speak in gibberish nonsense mouth, is what they do. It would be like if I just hit record and for an hour and 20 minutes went... Actually, it would probably be better than my reviews. By the way, the Minions are fucking Jawa ripoffs. You realize that, right? Somebody type in right now. Go to Google. Type in Jawa speaking, and it's the Minions talking. Like it's such a fucking. It's the same thing, but just throw in banana every now and again, and it's the same thing. It's such a ripoff. I can't. They should have just called it Jawas, and it would have been awesome. I could watch Jawas like going through scrap and stuff, and like looking through people's porn and discarded computers and Tatooine and stuff. Like, yeah, pay me is what I'm saying. Just give it to me, Hollywood. Shit. So anyway, the Minions are they go out. The three of them, Donnie, Ronnie, and Mark, and they go looking for like a new boss, because that's what Minions do. They just they live to serve like the biggest, baddest, baldest motherfucker out there. So they go in their travels, and they find this villain convention that's being held in England in the 1960s. So they go there and immediately get erections, because every single girl from the 60s was hot, except like the hippies, the hairy ones, like. I never mean those, just to clarify, for the sake of history. I should clarify that. And so they go there, and there's like a villain convention. Now, something bothers me about this. The big thing is they're out to serve a villain, a bad guy, right? So, again, I haven't seen the original 2 movies. But I was like, okay, so they're like super villains, like comic book super villains? So where are the superheroes? Of which there are none. So I thought that was a little bit weird. Like, okay, so they're villains, but who's the good guys in this? Nobody, I guess. I'm the good guy. Me, moi. I better go back in time then to the 60s and get to groping, huh? So, they go to this villain convention, and like the big belle of the ball there is this villain, and her name is Scarlet Overkill. And let me tell you something. I wanted to have sex with this cartoon hard, like real hard. It's not exactly Christian to be aroused in a Disney movie theater, but I may or may not have been. But her voice, she was voiced by Sandra Bullock, and I think Sandra Bullock is she's boring. She's just boring, and her voice is boring. And the villain of a movie should not be voiced by a boring voiced person, and that just kind of killed it for me, though I was still erect. Too much information. Nah, you're good. You're good. It's just us. It's just the two of us. Nobody else is watching. So they go to follow her, and her plan makes no sense, and it's idiotic. Her plan, they're in England, so her plan is to steal the Queen's crown. And she thinks that it's okay. She's going to steal the Queen's crown, and she thinks that it's the first step in ruling England. Look, I'm an idiot, and I know that stealing the Queen's crown doesn't make you the Queen. Just like if I performed a home invasion of the White House, that doesn't make me the president, right? It's not like I'm going to kick down the door, tie up the president and his family, and sit in the Oval Office and think that maybe if I'm there long enough, people will say, that guy's our president, isn't it? I mean, he's in the White House, Oval Office, he's in the chair. What are you going to do? Right? It's the stupidest plan. And I don't know. I didn't get it. I didn't understand it. But then again, I was asleep at the time. So that's her big plan. So at the end, she's going to steal the crown. And then she gets like frozen by something. And then here comes the little bald guy, and he just walks up and he steals the crown from her and walks off. And it's the guy Gru when he was a little kid. And the minions go, oh, look at that. And they follow him because we all knew that's how the movie had to end. But here's my thing. That was stupid. That was stupid. Because literally, like, it would have been one thing if the guy, the Despicable Me guy, was behind all the events and was orchestrating the whole thing and was like the man in the shadows the whole time. Like, so really, like, he was manipulating her to get the crown that he would end up in possession of, So, like, through the movie, they could have had little hints of, like somebody manipulating events, right? And then at the end, of course, it's the guy. Because then that makes him look like a badass. And that's the whole point. Because the minions follow the biggest, baddest villain around, right? But what he did was, she was incapacitated, and he just walked up and, like, loot jacked her. He kill-stealed her. He kneaded on her purple drop. And they were like, ooh, he's Satan. And then they follow him because he's bald, obviously. So I thought that was pretty dumb. I mean, like, I know it's a kid's movie and you shouldn't really read too much into it, but it could have been way, way better with very minimal effort. Like, this is just haphazard, lazy-ass fucking storytelling. It's like, just animate it and sell it, and it don't matter what's in it. So, with the Minions movie, whatever. I mean, well, no, I shouldn't even say, well, it's a kid's movie, whatever, because there are plenty of Pixar movies that are kids' movies, but they're entertaining as shit. The Lego movie is like one of the best movies I've seen legitimately in years. I love the Lego movie. It was fantastic. And again, I'm a simple man with simple needs. But still, you can have a kiddie movie that is enjoyable for non-kiddies to watch. It's been done before. So Minions, go watch the first 5 minutes, and when the little beginning credits stop, when the cool, like, Minions Through Time thing stops, just leave. Leave and get, like, a salad or something. With ice cream. With pistachio. Alright. Mad Max. I have a soft spot in my heart for radiation. Literally. Any movie that takes place in a post-apocalyptic wasteland type shit, I'm there. So I was very, very excited about this Mad Max movie. It's not a reboot. It's actually the 4th installment of the Mad Max films, which I thought was completely fine. Tom Hardy as Mad Max, I have zero issue with. I think Tom Hardy's a fucking fabulous actor. He was great in that Netflix show with the funny name, Peaky Blinders. When I first saw that title, that name of the show, Peaky Blinders, I thought that was like the guy's name. I thought his name was Peaky Blinders because it just like it shows Cillian Murphy being like, and yeah, I thought that was his name. Like, hey, Peaky. And then I thought, well, it's an English show, so they have names like that, right? Racism. So Tom Hardy was fine. He was great as Mad Max. I have zero problems with him in it. My only problem with this movie is everything else. If you look on Rotten Tomatoes for the score of this movie, it's got like a 96 or something ridiculous like that. People were saying it's the best action movie of all time. Universal motherfreaking acclaim for Mad Max Fury Road. So I was beyond Thunderdome and beyond excited to go see it. I can only guess that we watched completely different things. Myself and 97% of the world. My spoiler-free review of Mad Max Fury Road is as thus. It's a 2-hour car chase. Finn. The end. Done. That's all. I don't understand where all this universal acclaim comes from. I cannot understand where all these accolades and just gushing come from. I don't get it. This movie sucked. And I'm going to tell you why. The best part, by far, in Mad Max Fury Road was the beginning, where Max eats a two-headed lizard. I thought, that was fucking phenomenal. I'm going to love this movie. Then, the rest of the movie happened. And the rest of the movie is this. There he is! Get him! Bang, 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 bang. 2 hours. That's all it takes, huh, guys? Best action movie ever? Okay, sure. This film, one thing that really, really upset me about this, Mad Max Fury Road, and it's done by, this is what I don't understand, it's done by the guy, like the guy who's done all of them. It's not like J.J. fucking Abrams took over this and is doing like his spin on it. It's like it's the original guy and the original team, right? Or pretty close to it. And this movie is like a parody of Mad Max. Because everyone is so over the top fucking stupid. And everyone is so over... It's almost like, okay. Oh, wait, he's Australian. They're Australians. Okay. How do Australians... I'll just do my English accent and hope that, nobody's offended. Oi, alright, we're gonna do this movie, Mad Max, and, everybody's weird, and everybody's nipples are hanging out, and everybody's got something in their nipples because nipples is weird. That's Ali G, isn't it? I don't remember. Everyone in this movie looks like an idiot. Like you have a guy, and of course, like some big fat guy, and oh my god, look how fat his... Look at his cankles. Oh, look how weird... They're so weird. Oh, look at that guy. He's bald and he's got a weird thing on his face. And oh my god, look at that guy. He's got two semi trucks chained to his nipples. Weird. And the bad guy, he looks like the Crypt Keeper and he's got some stupid mask on and he's weird. Everybody's weird in this movie. Oh. And you'll say, well, Dave, everybody was funky looking in the other Mad Max movies. Yes. But it was a natural funk. This is trying way too hard to have everybody be so weird and so out there, and it's literally the people in this movie are a Mad TV sketch of Mad Max. Get it? Mad TV, huh? You like that? I didn't even think of that when I said it. I was going to say Saturday Night Live, but it's like below... It's much less Saturday Night Live, much more Mad TV. Mad Max TV. So, it came off so stupid to me that every single, like, oh, look, weird babies, and look, oh, it's big fat ladies with milk things on their boobs, and oh my, isn't that weird? Aren't you weirded out by this? How about this? Don't weird me out. Make a good movie that I want to watch. How about that? How about you take all your weird effort, all the effort went into making weird people and not making good movies, right? So anyway, it was just every guy I saw, every person on the screen, I just was rolling my eyes at like the Tool video over the top stupidity of every... Okay, I'm gonna go on and on and on about this. I just can't. It was ridiculous. So I gotta stick to my notes here. Stick to them. Right? Okay. For movies where fuel and bullets are so rare, it's amazing to me that every single person in this movie has several cars, a full tank of gas, and endless ammunition for their military-grade weaponry. Okay. Here's the thing. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. This is rule numero 1 for anything post-disaster, whether it's post-apocalyptic or your zombie films or whatever, because pretty much it's all the same. It's all the same ice cream, just different flavors, right? The key is that nothing fucking works, right? If everyone has a Land Rover and a Lamborghini with a 50 cal on it, the wasteland ain't so bad, right? If everybody has a sawed-off shotgun or a machine gun or an Uzi or a pistol or what have you, that's all right. It's not that bad. Movies like this should be brutal, and ammunition should be scarce, and gasoline should be treasured, right? So when I see like giant fucking convoys of monster trucks, and fuel is so precious, yet they have enough of it to waste on, okay, there's one vehicle that has a wall of Marshall stacks on it, and there's some asshole playing electric guitar. All right? So you mean to tell me that bullets and gas, the most valuable things in the wasteland, so much so that we can waste an entire automobile lugging around Slash, who's just gonna solo through this entire 2-hour car chase? Is that what you mean to tell me? Mr. 96% Rotten Tomatoes score. That's what you're telling me? And I'm crazy? I'm the bad guy? Me? I'm Despicable Dave? Yeah. Yeah, apparently. So, the story is... Okay. I'll say something nice. I'm going to tell you the story, in quotes, of this movie, right? The story and the idea. If somebody said, Dave, this is the idea for the new Mad Max, tell me what you think. I would say, I love it. Here's the story. There is a warlord, leader of this, this area in the wasteland, okay? And he has a breeding stock of young girls that he just porks all day long. That is all he does. It's Dave's dream come to life, pretty much. And all they do is burst out babies. And then those babies grow up, and he teaches them how to be weird. And like they're like his army, right? So he's got like a harem of hot radioactive girls, as hot as radioactive girls can be. And like somebody is trying to free them and smuggle them away. And Mad Max, Max gets kind of caught in it, where he ends up having to, help these girls escape this tyrant mutated overlord guy, right? It's a simple, effective, neat story. It sounds cool, right? Hey, that's a good idea. There's no need to overcomplicate things, right? That sounds like a pretty cool idea. Now, great story, true, but buried under a 2-hour car chase. Because literally what happens is they stop, like at a rest stop, they stop at a Roy Rogers on the Parkway for just a minute to explain the plot. And they're like, "Oi, me Australian is what I happening." I don't know what voice that was. I don't even think those were words. But they are Australian. Ooh, racism. But they literally stop and say, "Okay, these are the whores. They're her breeding whores. I'm going to free them. I got one arm. What do you want me to do?" There he is. Get him. 96% Rotten Tomatoes. Keep that in mind. 96%. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. If it was a 3-hour car chase, it would have been 112% on Rotten Tomatoes, I guess. So, and it was so funny because Max finds the, radioactive breeding whores, and it was literally like a warrant video. Because they're all like bathing, so it's like these hot, like perfect skin, perfect bodies like me, just gorgeous, beautiful puckered lips, rosy cheeks. And like okay, it's like a Miller Lite commercial, right? And they're literally having a wet t-shirt contest in the middle of the fucking wasteland, just bathing and oh my god. And I looked, I went, "96%. The fuckers." It was so like, okay, somebody's got to tell me, was that supposed to be comedy? Was that supposed to be ironic and funny? Because that's literally what happens, right? The harem of hot babes or whatever they're literally bathing out in the wasteland when Max sees them for the first time, and they're like, "Ooh, splashy, splashy, ooh, God, ooh, and tits," and right. Right. I guess everybody in the wasteland is weird and Australian except the trim, right? So anyway, the other character in this movie is Charlize Theron, and she's awesome. She's great. But I have problems. She's missing an arm. Okay? It happens. But she has a metal arm. Okay, perfectly acceptable. It is a post-apocalyptic movie. It's a rough place. Limbs get discarded, let's say, right? And you have to make do. So I have no problems with like a Merle from Walking Dead, knife on a whatever, prosthetic arm weapon. Here's my issue with Charlize Theron's metal arm. It had fingers that worked. So she had gone, right? This does not gone. This is gone. She had a metal hand and fingers that moved and worked. Do you realize what this would require? Right? You would need nerves to move, she had Luke's bionic hand from The Empire Strikes Back. In Mad Max, if you want to put like a stick on your arm or a fishing pole or a mace, I'm with you. Okay, but you can't have Star Trek level technology in Mad Max because you can't. There wasn't even a little winding gear. It was just like, look, I just got a bionic hand. It works. It's just like a hand. It just, yep. Okay. Now let me get in my Fast and the Furious muscle car because everybody's got one. And okay, see, there's a difference in the original Mad Max movies. They had cars. Okay. And these cars were all, like crazy, post-apocalyptic, dirty, dusty, shitty, kind of like, well, my car. And, like with some weird bulldozer things on them and, skulls and, whatever. Okay, fine. The vehicles in this film are straight out of American Chopper. They had, like, a monster truck looking thing that was two cars stacked on top of each other, but done well. Like done like on those reality shows where they make funky automobiles for people. Done like that. The shit shouldn't work. The shit should be brutal and broken and fucked up and half the time doesn't even start, right? Not these perfectly designed muscle cars that are just ridiculous. I don't understand life a lot of times. The world is a very big place for the irradiated one, kids. And I don't want to be here anymore. I don't. So, at the end of the movie, the one-armed girl gets like really, really messed up. And she dies. But she doesn't, because the power of love brings her back to life. Okay, man. Alright. Like, she's so fucked up. And I was like, okay, well, at least she's gonna die. At least somebody's gonna die. That will make me feel a little better. She doesn't die. Because we all know Mad Max films are just famous for their happy endings. Aren't they? 96%, mind you. Okay, I'll say something nice. The reason why Max kind of gets involved in this in the first place is one of the crazy, bald guys, because everybody knows bald people are weird and fat and ugly, apparently. He has like these tumors on him or something, and he's sick. So they capture Max and they chain him up, and he uses him as like his blood bag. Like he just like drains the blood out of Max to pump into his balls or something. I don't know. And it makes him fight better or whatever because he's sick. So they have Max like chained up to I almost said Mad Matt. They have him like chained up to one of the cars with endless fuel and endless bullets, and as to keep giving blood to the sick guy and stuff like that. So anyway, they kind of that guy ends up being like involved, going along with them in in their kind of adventures to free these girls and whatnot, and they go up against the big bad guy. And I thought that the film did a pretty good job of making him kind of you start feeling for him after a while. You know what I mean? Like at first he annoys the shit out of you, because everyone in this movie is annoying, because everybody's going ah! 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 2 hours, 96%. But when people stop making weird faces, and you kind of like, he's kind of wrapped up with things, and their whole kind of like war boy cult is about like dying a glorious death and having people witness, he'll say like, witness me, and then he'll go die, and if you die well, you go to like Valhalla. So they have their own kind of like piecemeal mythology, I guess, taken from different things that they kind of espouse. And I thought, okay, well, that's kind of interesting, that's kind of neat. And by the end of the movie, when the sick guy, he finally does get his big death scene, and he looks to the people and he's like, witness me, and then he goes and he dies. You're kind of like, all right, like that was pretty neat. You kind of feel for him, right? Like you're there, you're like, all right, good job, buddy. But wow, how much more potent would that have been if, I don't know, why don't you cut the car chase down to an hour? Right? If you just give me an hour of car chase and explosions, and then that gives you a whole nother hour to further develop characters and to further develop plot and, I don't know, make a movie? Maybe? Like, I think that's reasonable. Me saying, can you cut down the car chase to 60 minutes? Is that too little? Do you need more, guys? Do you need more explosions and Fast and the Furious monster trucks and Gravedigger and Crush Station? It's my favorite monster truck of all time, by the way. It's a big lobster. And it's got like the big monster truck has a big lobster on top, and it's called the Crush Station. Crush Station. Oh god, it's so adorable. That's so cute. I love you, Crush Station. So that's the moral of my story. Mad Max Fury Road fucking sucks. Crush Station, big thumbs up, or big claws up, I guess, is what I should have said there. So let's see, what else am I missing here? So Charlize Theron, the woman with the bionic arm, Bionic Deborah, we'll call her. So her thing is like she's gonna rescue these. She was hired to she kidnapped the warlord guy's whatever his harem, and she's going to free them. She's going to take them to, they call it the Green Place, which is like, a magical mystery place where there's like a tree or something like that. And then it turns out like that the place turned bad, and they go there and they find all these old sniper ladies.
All right. And then, don't worry, the plot won't get in the way for too long, because they'll only talk for 5 minutes until, there he is, get him! Weird! 2 hours, 96%, I'm out of here.